Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hello students. Hope that you people are staying safe and happy at home. Yes, our today's topic is about osmoregulatory function of kidney. First of all, have a look of the kidneys function. The kidneys can regulate the water content of the body, get rid of the nitrogenous waste from the blood, and it is doing the osmoregulation. Osmoregulation is a process of controlling water content of the body. Plus, it's doing the excretion, removal of the waste which has been synthesized within the body. How the kidney is performing this function? Have a look here. Observe the picture and have a look that blood, waste and water enters through the renal artery. Blood without waste or excessive water leaves here through the renal vein. Excessive water and toxic waste in the form of urine leaves via the ureter. Osmoregulation. If the word osmoregulation comes, it means that it is the maintenance of the water and the other mineral salts within the kidneys. And kidneys' main function is to do the osmoregulation, means the maintenance of the water inside the blood. How it is doing it? Have a look. Maintain the volume of the extracellular fluid, maintain ionic balance in the extracellular fluid, maintain pH and osmotic concentration of the extracellular fluid, excrete toxic metabolic byproducts such as urea, ammonia and uric acid. And who is helping inside the kidney? It's a structure of the nephron that is performing this all function inside the kidney. Now have a detailed look how it is performing this all function. Kidney plays an important role in the osmoregulation by regulating the water contents of the blood. There are the two conditions for this. Whenever there is an extra amount of the water that is present, we call that condition hypotonic condition. And whenever there is a less amount of the water that is present inside the blood, in both cases, we are having a hormone that is called antidiuretic hormone, which is releasing according to the situation and controlling the excessive loss of water from the body. This all is happening inside the kidney. How? The collecting duct balances the water concentration of the blood through the hormonal control, and that hormone is the antidiuretic hormone, and we can identify it as a ADH. How it's doing the function? Filtrate, enter the collecting duct from the distal convoluted tubule. Water moves from the collecting ducts to the capillaries by the process called osmosis. They flow in opposite direction, maintaining a concentration gradient, the counter-clockwise current system. If a person is dehydrated, means having a hypertonic, you can say, condition, the ADH hormone acts on the wall of the collecting ducts, producing, you can say, channels, making it more permeable to water, and more water is absorbed back to the blood, and less urine is produced and less water is lost. Now have a look of this video first.
The process of osmoregulation occurs within the kidneys, specifically within structures called nephrons. There are thousands, if not millions, of nephrons per kidney. And while these structures are microscopic, they are critical for homeostasis, as they regulate an animal's blood volume by controlling the amount of water and ions within the blood. The process of osmoregulation begins when systemic blood in need of filtering enters the glomerulus. The capillary tuft comprising the glomerulus is fenestrated, meaning small slits exist between the endothelial cells of the capillary's walls. These slits allow particles of small molecular sizes and weights like glucose, amino acids, ions, and water to pass out of the glomerulus and into the first part of the nephron, while larger items such as blood cells are retained in the capillary. When small molecules leave the blood through the fenestrations, they enter the Bowman's capsule and collectively form a substance called filtrate. It is the job of the Bowman's capsule to collect this filtrate and send it on to the next part of the nephron, which is the proximal convoluted tubule. The proximal convoluted tubule is the major site of nutrient and ion reabsorption. Reabsorption entails the removal of molecules from the filtrate and into the extracellular fluid for uptake into a nearby blood capillary. In the proximal convoluted tubule, 100% of all glucose molecules and amino acids in the filtrate are reabsorbed back into the blood. In addition, approximately 60% of all ions are reabsorbed. In order to accomplish this, the cells of the proximal convoluted tubule contain many ion leak channels, transporters, and even energy-requiring pumps to ensure efficient reabsorption of vital nutrients. In most vertebrates, the proximal convoluted tubule is followed by the loop of Henle. The most important function of this portion of the nephron is the reabsorption of water. The longer the loop, the more water can be reabsorbed. The process of water reabsorption actually begins by the removal of sodium and chloride from the loop's filtrate and into the extracellular fluid. As the osmolality of the extracellular fluid increases, more water is pulled from the filtrate via osmosis and then is reabsorbed into a nearby blood capillary. The sodium and chloride may either follow the water and be reabsorbed into the blood, or they may be secreted back into the filtrate for removal in the urine. The fate of these ions depends upon the ion concentration in the blood and the hydration level of the animal. The final portion of the nephron is the distal convoluted tubule. For most vertebrates, this tubule represents the last chance for ion reabsorption or secretion, and thus one of the last places where osmoregulation can occur. Once filtrate leaves this portion of the nephron, its composition is mostly set and will become urine.
Kidneys are called osmoregulators because they can regulate the water balance, concentration of the water in the blood by the help of the hypothalamus of the brain, which can release an antidiuretic hormone. Here are two conditions. First, look on the light green side of this picture. This is the condition where it is a high amount of the water that is present inside the blood. We call it hypotonic condition. What happens here? Large intake of the water by drinking. Second step, water potential in the blood plasma increases, which can stimulate the hypothalamus of the brain and release a hormone. The pituitary gland releases less ADH in the bloodstream. What happened in the result? Cells in the wall of the collecting ducts become less permeable to water. Less water reabsorbed from the collecting ducts into the blood capillaries, and hence the large volume of the urine produced, and the urine produces more diluted. Now come on the other side. Loss of water, it's a hypertonic condition now. Loss of the water is happening through sweating. Water potential in the blood plasma decreases, which can stimulate the hypothalamus in the brain, and it can release a hormone, that is the pituitary hormone. Pituitary hormone gland releases more ADH into the bloodstream. Cells in the wall of the collecting ducts become more permeable to water. More water reabsorbed from the collecting ducts into the blood capillaries, and hence as a result, smaller volume of the urine produced, and urine produced is more concentrated. So in this way, there is a kidney which is acting as an osmoregulator. So I guess the idea become very clear that the kidneys are performing the three main functions: osmoregulation and the excretion. Now here is a message from a healthy kidney. The healthy kidney is saying that save me, save me, I want to stay healthy. But how? Listen carefully and stop doing these practices which I'm going to discuss it with you people. Like not emptying your bladder timely, insufficient water intake, high protein diet, consuming too much caffeine, smoking cigarettes, high salt consumption, ignoring common infections, drinking excessive alcohol, regular use of anesthetics, and the lack of sleep. These are all those habits which can hurt the kidney health, and we should stop doing these or practices to save our kidneys for their better function. And also, stop hurting me. Choose healthy diet. Yes, a healthy diet can make your kidneys healthy and can make them healthy to perform their functions. Okay, kidney health is in your hand. How? Kidneys are for life. If you are, there are few things which we should, you can say, practice in our lives. If you are a hypersensitive, keep good control on your BP. BP means your blood pressure. Diabetic should keep their blood sugar under control. Watch your weight. Watch your salt intake. Eat a balanced diet. Exercise regularly, at least for 30 minutes. Take your medicines regularly, and go for the checkups of your kidney. And please make me a happy kidney. So everyone, stay safe and happy like me by doing the good selections in the life. And yes, students, I guess the kidney function as a osmoregulator becomes very clear to you people. And stay safe and happy, students. Allah Hafiz.